Boy oh boy, the season is just around the corner. Fresh tactics, new signings, managerial reshuffles. But one thing clubs can't change themselves could still be the defining factor of their success or failure, and that is officiating. PGMOL simply have to get it right this year or things could get very ugly. PapaPincus here with FourFourTwo. Let's talk about it. Now look, over the course of a season, mistakes happen. Players, managers, officials, fans, the lot. We are human, it's in our nature to get things wrong sometimes. And I can deal with one mistake, two perhaps, three, fair, four, I'm getting a bit worried, five, I'm deeply concerned. 18 mistakes is inexcusable, 18. That's how many VAR errors there were last season. Down from 31 the previous season, a 42% drop in wrong calls. Progress! No, that is still an unforgivable amount. 18 is still 18 moments where a team has been robbed, momentum was broken and a club's future was altered. 18 moments that should have been impossible in a league with the resources, the funding, the technology and the reputation of the Premier League. What I don't think is taken into account is the magnitude of what these errors can lead to. One small decision changes the whole trajectory of a football club. For example, let me take you back to the last game of the season, Man United versus Aston Villa. A huge game for Villa. A win for them would secure a Champions League spot. 73 minutes on the clock, Ollie Watkins scores to put them 1-0 up, or so he thought. VAR deemed it as a foul on the keeper. No, it wasn't. The keeper lost control of the ball. Watkins slotted it home, fair and square. United go on to win the game. 2-0, and Villa miss out on Champions League football. No beating around the bush. That is disgusting. Every goal Villa scored that season, every win, everything they did in hopes of securing CL footy, completely taken away from them by poor officiating. And think about the butterfly effect that one decision has, not just for Villa, but for the sport. For example, let's say that goal stands. Villa qualify for the Champions League and Newcastle don't. Does that mean Isak joins Liverpool early doors? Would they have even gone for 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗥𝗔 in the first place then? Maybe they could have made a move for 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗥𝗧𝗏 or Sesko instead, changing Arsenal and Man United's whole future. United lose that game and finish 16th. Would Amorim have got the sack? Would they then have signed Cunha and 𝗦𝗶𝗴H if that was the case? Look, of course, those are all what ifs. But it just goes to show how these decisions matter more than we can even comprehend. Now, it's fair to say a lot of people have completely lost all faith in VAR. And can you really blame them? When it came in, VAR was sold to us like it was some sort of football messiah, the end of injustice, the cure for all those what-if moments we'd argue about down the pub for decades. No more diving, no more handballs, no more ghost goals. Finally, football would get what it deserved, the truth. Instead, we've ended up with a Frankenstein's monster of a system that manages to be both painfully slow and still wrong. And that's the killer. People could forgive the odd mistake when it was just the ref's eyes against the pace of the game. But now we've got 76 camera angles, freeze frames, perfect lines on screens, technology worth millions, and somehow these mistakes still happen far too often. So what happens? Trust erodes. Fans roll their eyes before the decision's even been made. Players celebrate with half the conviction because they're waiting for the inevitable checking possible offence graphic. Managers are left disgusted in press conferences, not just at the injustice, but at the absurd theatre of it all.
It's embarrassing. It's a disgrace. That's what it is, a disgrace.
VAR was meant to bring clarity, but instead it's introduced a fog. The cameras don't decide when to intervene. The software doesn't choose whether it's a clear and obvious error or not. Every single call still comes down to the human sat in that booth. Headset on, eyes flicking between replays, making a judgment that can change the fate of a season. And I just hope they get it right this time around. The fans, players and pundits alike proudly call the Premier League the best league in the world. So we need the same from the officials. As a fan that watches every game I can, week in, week out, last season felt like the talking point of each game wasn't the goals, wasn't the tactics, wasn't the drama, it was the decisions. The entertainment value last season plummeted in my opinion. Stoppages every 2 minutes. The pace of the game was completely and utterly destroyed. And it came to a point where I felt like PGMOL were more worried about not getting the decision wrong than actually getting it right, if that makes any sense, which isn't where they want to be either. Some of the most clear and obvious decisions were taking far too long to make because they knew the pressure was on them. And here's the thing, VAR has been around for 7 years now. 7. I think we should have a grip of it by now. Everyone in that booth needs to know their role, know the laws of the game, and most importantly, have the bottle to make the big calls quickly and confidently. Maybe the new laws introduced this season will help, but more about those in a second. This is how VAR should work. Look at Sheffield United in the Championship playoff final. Harrison Burrows smashes one in. Wembley's bouncing. Looks like they've gone 2-0 up before half-time. But VAR steps in, spots an offside in the build-up, and the goal is ruled out. That's a season-changing moment handled properly. Without that intervention, Sunderland are staring down a 2-goal deficit in a game that decides who gets promoted. And that's not just bragging rights. That's tens of millions in prize money, broadcast revenue, sponsorships, and potential signings. I mean, look at this window Sunderland have had. They've signed 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗥𝗔, for God's sake. One correct call literally reshapes the future of both clubs. That's the power of VAR when it's done right. It protects not just one result, but the integrity of the entire sport. It keeps the game honest, it keeps the playing field level, and it makes sure the biggest moments are decided by skill, not luck or human error. This is the version of VAR we all signed up for. Quick, accurate, and game-defining for the right reasons. VAR can work. We've seen it. We've seen it save seasons, stop injustice. The problem is, it just doesn't do it often enough. Which is why we need to be looking at ways to take as much of the human error out as possible next season. And the next big step is semi-automated offsides. But in all seriousness, look, we've seen how it works in the Champions League and the World Cup. Lovely and quick, nice and precise. The call made in seconds, not 3 hours. No drawn out freeze frames, no dodgy lines being dragged across the screen like a kid on Microsoft Paint. It's clean, it's clear, and it's consistent. Now it's coming to the Prem. We can instantly remove one of the biggest VAR pain points. Those 2 working day, endless offside checks that completely kill the atmosphere and still somehow spark controversy. Semi-automated offsides is huge for the Premier League. And speaking of changes, one thing that continues to grind my gears and has to change for me, a second yellow leading to a red can't be overturned. Why? Why on God's green earth is that a rule? The FA's excuse is that yellow cards are subjective decisions, so they don't want to set a precedent of reviewing every single one. Fine. But the second yellow isn't just a yellow, it's a red. It's a suspension. It's 10 men playing uphill for the rest of the game. When there's clear and obvious evidence that the second booking was soft, mistaken, or just simply wrong, it's mental that nothing can be done about it. The technology's there, the replays are there. The common sense apparently isn't. Change it immediately. And while we're fixing rules, for the love of football, can we please make the handball law something everyone actually understands? Was the arm in a natural position? Did it make the body unnaturally bigger? Did it deflect off another body part first? Was the ball travelling at 62.3 miles an hour from 2 feet away? Every referee seems to have a different interpretation, and every time IFAB clarifies it, they actually make it worse. Fans are not idiots. If they can't predict the call from a replay, the rule is broken, not their understanding of it. We need one clear, fixed definition of handball that works from Sunday League to the World Cup final. And then we need to stick to it. No tweets every 6 months, no interpretation loopholes, just a law everyone, players, coaches, referees, and the fans know inside out. Right, now I'm going to stop before I get 442 in big trouble, but the be-all and end-all is they simply have to get it right this year. Please, enough with the endless stoppages, the theatre, the paralysis by analysis. Bring back the fast-paced, heart-in-mouth Premier League we all fell in love with. The one decided on the pitch, not off of it. Mistakes will happen, we are human, but if VAR is here to stay, then it has to be sharper, quicker, braver. Semi-automated offsides, clear rules, accountability for officials, all of it. Do that and maybe, just maybe, we'll spend this season talking about goals, glory, and the great football. Comment down below which rule you think should be changed, added or removed. I'll be very interested to read those. Thank you all for watching. Till next week.